going on, people? Myke C-Town here. Welcome to another edition of You Seen It, where I talk about movies that I've seen, and if you've seen it, we can have a discussion. We can have a virtual talk about the movie. You can let me know what you thought, because I'm going to tell you what I thought. So today I'm going to talk about the newest Mad Max movie, Fury Road. So as far as the Mad Max franchise goes, I absolutely loved the first two. I love the post-apocalyptic world that George Miller created. I like the lack of explanation as far as what's going on and why the world got to be this way. The first one gives you an idea of how Max came to be this way. And the second one, Road Warrior, it continues on and shows Max to be, while generally uncaring, also a sort of vigilante who cares about the well-being of good people. Now, we get to Thunderdome. In my opinion, Thunderdome was absolutely fucking terrible. I hate the campy, corny aspects of it. You know, the dark feel of the first two is pretty much gone, and the story to me was really boring. You know, Feral Kid was kind of the only cool thing about the movie. And yeah, I wasn't even a fan of Master Blaster. Oh, fake-ass Krang. When I saw they were doing a fourth movie, I thought the trailer looked great, but I was worried that Miller was carrying on the ideas that he had from the third one. Thankfully, I was completely wrong. In this one, Mad Max is kidnapped by these people who are almost like a religious cult, led by this super creepy dude who seems to have some sort of chemical herpes or some shit, and this really interesting mask that kind of resembles Scorpion from Mortal Kombat. One aspect of this group is they keep women enslaved and treat them almost like cattle. You know, they pump them for breast milk for their own consumption, and then they treat them like sex slaves. The second part of the story is Charlize Theron. She's this woman who's bent on getting these women out of this situation and taking them to her homeland, where we're led to believe it's this sort of glorious safe place. So what you basically have is Mad Max being caught in the middle of the struggle between the weird-ass religious cult and the women who are trying to escape them. So I'll tell you, I thought this movie was fucking awesome. The landscape is much darker and more realistic than Thunderdome. And the story, which is minimal as it is in all Mad Max films, the story is still actually pretty interesting. Basically, it's another situation where you have a truck trying to get from one place to the next while trying to survive this insane obstacle course of craziness going on. And the stunts in this movie are fucking insane. The part where Max is tied to the front of the car while the cult is chasing the women, that shit was crazy. The guys on the tall poles going back and forth, the scene with the motorcycles flying over the trucks, that shit was sick. The scenery here is just amazing. The shots the director has with these crazy backdrops, they're just beautiful. I can't say enough how well done that aspect of the movie is. The only thing I thought was really lame was that guy with that fucking guitar. Every time he hit it, the flames would come out at the end of it. I thought he was completely pointless and just stupid. Tom Hardy took on the role of Mad Max with precision, in my opinion. The dark, brooding personality of Max, he's very stoic. You know, he says very few words and shows even less emotion. Charlize Theron's character, Furiosa, was actually pretty great too. You know, definitely a sort of female Mad Max and a total badass. Living in this crazy fucked up world as a female must be hard enough, but a female with one arm? Like seriously, man, and the metal contraption that she's created to go over her nub, that shit was dope as hell, man. And the small glimpse of a backstory that we get from her is actually really interesting. You know, her trying to get back to this land of seemingly peaceful women. Her determination to show these women how peaceful and beautiful life can really be. It was just really well done. I feel like I'd be irresponsible not to mention the whole feminist debate that's circling around this film. I didn't even think of this shit until somebody asked me about it after the movie. And apparently it's said to be filled with feminist propaganda. Okay, so the movie showed strong female characters in what seems to be a very male-oriented world, and it also shows a town that's run by men where women are used as either sex objects or hooked up to a machine that pumps them for milk to be consumed by men. So do these two things qualify as feminist propaganda? Okay, first off, let's start with the whole insistence that action movies are a reflection of real life. If you do that, you've already lost because you're stupid. But let's take up that thinking for a moment. You mean to tell me that these ideas aren't realistic? So, if the world did go to shit, men who by and large are more physically stronger would not overpower women and push a society that's completely male dominated? And there's no way that a group of women would somehow learn to adapt in this world and actually become forces to be reckoned with? No? That makes no sense? Okay, so I guess they would all just turn into the princess in Mario Brothers and wait for the big dick savior on the white horse, right? You guys are fucking ridiculous, man. Seriously, turn your Xboxes off, change your briefs, get out of your grandparents' basement and step into the real world, alright? It makes sense to maybe call this a more woman-friendly movie, but feminist propaganda, I feel like that's a bit of a stretch. This is just a prime example of how if you go looking for something, logic be damned, you're going to find it. Okay, side note on stupidity aside, let's wrap this up. Overall, I think this is a fantastic movie. I'm not even a fan of action flicks, but this I feel like was killer. It's 2 hours of great action, great acting, and it's just fun. It's a good time at the movie theater, okay? Nothing to overthink unless you're a fucking paranoid meninist. There's nothing to really dig too deep into, just a basic plot and a shit ton of action, which is what I expect and what I want when I do watch action movies. So I'm totally happy with it. So that's it. So let me know, have you seen it? And if you did, what did you think? Make sure you leave some comments down there. Give me your opinion on the film, and let me know if there's anything out that I should go check out. Alright? Thank you for living, thank you for loving, thank you for being you, and I will see you guys next time. Alright? Peace, bitches!